All right. Hello, everybody. This is 91.7 The Edge, WSUW Whitewater, with the Last Life show. I'm just going to go ahead and start introducing ourselves, starting to my left. My name is Ben. I'm going to be your host for today's show. And then you can go ahead.
My name is Alec.
My name is Sam.
My name is Cole.
My name's Chase.
Awesome. So the topic of today's podcast is going to be simulators. And kind of like just, those general sim games as well. And then so like real life activities, which are like in games pretty much. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the simulator games. Let's just start with Farm Simulator. I'll just go around the room. If you guys want to throw out ideas, you totally can. Just Farm Simulator. What is it? What's fun about it? Just kind of talk to me.
Well, I've never played Farm Simulator, but I'm eager to hear some other people's opinions on the game because, it's an interesting idea. You're a farmer. That's one of the most basic human activities out there. So to make a whole video game around it, yeah, I'm sure it's a joy for the whole family.
All right.
I haven't played it either, but I've seen people play the game, and it looks interesting enough. Like, if you get into, like, the details of it, and you know what you're doing, like, with farm equipment and stuff,
right?
You could get into that, like, vibe of, like, yeah, this is my chill game. This is what, like, I want to do just for today.
My main mistake, I thought it was just referring to games that are farming simulators and not a farm simulator game, but the games I have played are Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley, and I did play a McDonald's farming simulator game that was released back then, but yeah.
Even the Flash game one?
Yes.
Yeah, I've played that game. That game's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Is
I
the
think McDonald's got
one?
mad that I remember correctly.
Yeah, the McDonald's. It's a Flash game. It's a parody. I mean, it's making fun of McDonald's. Like you're like turning.
I think I do know what you're talking about.
You're like burning down like villages in the third world to make more corn farms,
goodness.
and like you're feeding the cows like parts of the other cows. It's pretty funny.
I think I actually just watched a video of somebody playing that on YouTube not that long ago.
It's a fun game.
Man, I wonder why McDonald's hated it so much.
Did McDonald's take it down, or?
I don't know.
I'm curious now. I'm gonna look it up after this.
I haven't heard about the game in years.
So Farm Simulator, I have not really played this one, but I have a lot of friends that play it, and I've watched a lot of people play it. I personally think this is a really cool one. I used to play something very similar to it called like Farmville, or like you also like Heyday, those types of games. I really enjoy them, just because it's just not mindless per se, but it's just there's always something to do. You can like if you're someone like me who has everything like super organized, it's kind of like you can choose to do that as well. But I think it's just a really cool game, just in general. Then, how about you, Alec? Have you played Farm Simulator?
I have not, but I have a roommate who plays it a ton, and we make fun of him for it. He's always on it.
Fair enough. See, so the thing about that game is it's extremely addicting. Like, I feel like if I did have it, I would probably, like, drop everything else and just play Farming Simulator.
See, here's my thing about games like Farm Simulator. If you like farming so much, why don't do it in real life, right?
Too much work.
See, right, too much work. You're sitting, it's your free time, your day off, and you go and do someone else's job for them. Not really for them,
there's a huge difference
no one
between
really
using a
gets it.
computer and doing real life.
What if you don't like dirt?
You don't like dirt. Okay.
What if...
Also, I'm pretty sure, like, if like we would do some different simulators, sure, I get why you might want to do that in real life. But I feel like farming is not that fun of a job to do. It's a job you just do because you gotta do it, not because it's fun.
No, I think that's up to. I think that's up to opinion. Go ahead.
Here's my challenge, though. If the job is not fun, then why do people play a video game that's just doing the job?
Kind of agree, but I can
Fair
see the
enough.
appeal of that.
That is very fair. The next thing I want to talk about is Flight Simulator. Now, this is a good one. I really enjoy Flight Simulator because I, for one, have always wanted to fly. This is why this one's really fun for me. Plus, you get to learn about, like, the different machines and stuff like that that go into, like, the different planes and whatnot. And it's just really cool. You can learn about all the gizmos and gadgets that go along with that as well. This is another one that I've only ever played on other people's machines. I haven't played this one. Like, I don't own this one, but I have a really close buddy who does, so I just go over by his place and play it, which is kind of fun. And then I also, the same people who play Farm Sim that I watch play Flight Simulator and like all the other ones too. So like, I'll watch a good bit of it as well, just if they're doing it. That's really my only experience with most of these. But Flight Sim is a really popular one, so does anyone here played that one at all?
I haven't played it, but when I was younger, I used to play Google Maps flight mode, where you just fly around all the landmarks and the mountains and stuff, and it was really cool because it was all inverted and stuff. I think I also saw was it Flight Sim that has those glitches where there's bottomless pits that should be landmarks?
Probably. I mean,
Yeah, sounds real.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. How about you guys over here? Flight Simulator.
Well, I've not played any flight simulator games, but that's something that I can get behind playing a flight simulator game. Ever since the age of the dinosaurs, humanity has envied other species' ability to fly. Of course, back in the time of dinosaurs, we were just tiny mammals scurrying on the ground in fear of the beasts that ruled the land and the air. So, back in those days, it was a real advantage to fly. You could get above the T-Rex, you can get above the mighty Brontosaurus, other terrifying creatures. So flight really has a universal and obvious appeal. Unlike farming, also, flying, not a thing that everyone can do. Whereas you could just go to the park and just start a little patch for yourself.
Fair enough.
I mean, yeah, it's easier to farm, but it's not that easy that you can just do it. I doubt any of us could be oh, time to go out farming. But yeah, I agree.
For me, the only I haven't played I've played the actual Flight Simulator game, but I've also played something similar to Flight Simulator. It was at a Dave and Buster's. It was an IMAX game. It had this little machine that you sat in. You would go in, close the door, and sit down. It had this IMAX screen on it, and then it had all the controls, the thrust, or the throttle, and then the joystick for controlling the weapons and stuff like that. That I was always really good at that one. So when I played Flight Sim, my buddy actually has the setup for it. So he's got the joystick and the I don't even know what you want to call that thing, but the throttle, and I just go ham. It's so cool. He spent a lot of time on that game, so he bought the stuff for it. I would never buy the stuff for it. I'd probably just play with what I just do a keyboard and mouse. So if I owned it, but I still think it's a really cool game. And if they had I don't know if they have a VR version, but I think a VR version would be really cool.
That'd be awesome. Have you actually seen the actual setups for Flight Simulator?
Not the super big ones,
Yeah,
no.
those are expensive.
I can imagine, because I've seen people who play Forza and Need for Speed.
Absolutely.
Those rigs are ridiculous.
I think the most expensive one I've seen is 20,000.
Jeez.
You might as well just go and learn to fly.
Right, for that much you might as well. Yeah, my goodness.
Actually, I think I own a VR game that's for planes. I haven't played it yet because I've just been busy with other games at the time. I think I own it. I'm pretty sure there is a VR planes game.
I'd imagine there's. I'm probably not the first person to have thought of that.
Hopefully not.
Right. That's funny. So the next one is Surgeon Simulator. I have actually never heard of this one until we decided to talk about this. Cole, you look like you have something to say.
I do.
Okay, Chase, go ahead.
I'm surprised there's been 2 games that came out for Surgeon Sim, and it's also come out with VR as well, where you can use both hands for once.
Oh.
I assume you probably at least watch some Markiplier videos on it, but oh well.
Do you have to have the advanced finger tracking for it though?
No,
you
so
don't.
what it is
How?
You put your hand on the keyboard as if you're actually putting the hand in game, and the mouse is the rotate and move forward, whereas you have to push down each key as if it were your finger to hold on to objects.
Oh, and this is for the VR version?
No,
This is for the first version, the non-VR version.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Surgeon Sim 2 has you moving around, so it's more of an open area kind of deal.
Okay.
Where Surgeon Simulator 1 was, you were literally, there's the patients in front of you, you move only one hand, do the job.
Okay.
And it can get frustrating because you could accidentally drop something you need, or,
have you ever played
It's more
Quap?
of
Quap?
Yeah, the running game.
I have not.
Well, the point of Surgeon Simulator, is big on YouTube. It's one of those games where the appeal is based around, at least for the first one. I haven't played the second one, but for the first one, the appeal is clearly based on that it goes wrong and you can't control your character very well. Because it's so granular that you're controlling each finger separately, you're dropping stuff. It's a horrible mess. Quap is a game where you're running.
I see, yeah.
And it's like you can move your bottom of your leg and the top of your leg separately of each leg, and so you can barely, it's like, it's so hard to move at all. You're instantly falling.
I see. Quap is the buttons that you press. I see.
Made well. It's just it's controlled badly on purpose. And it's kind of like a joke. Of course, objective for these games is never going to work if you actually try doing this in real life because you'd probably be sued for that.
Hopefully you'd be sued.
Surgeon Simulator is more memey compared to the other two we've talked about so far.
It's a operation simulator. So the next one is Power Washing Sim. So this one I have played. This one is incredibly satisfying. It's weird. It's not weirdly satisfying. It's super satisfying and also extremely addicting. So I mean, somebody can just talk about this one. I mean, a lot of these games, we don't really have to describe all that much because it's in the name. So, but yeah, Power Washing Simulator. I think Chase, you were talking about this one the other day.
I find it very enjoyable. I love live streaming it. Honestly, sometimes it will get frustrating when when you power wash a lot and you just feel like you're not getting any far, but you take a break, you come back, and then it's the same experience, and it just, I think it's the dings after you complete certain objects or the small things that keep you motivated to keep going, because the ding, that means I'm done, or it ends, whatever you're washing, it basically there's a cutoff point where it's okay, you did enough, we're just gonna give it to you.
Right.
And which makes it phew, thank goodness. I didn't want to do the entire thing. That would have been a lot of work.
Sounds about right. I mean, yeah, the ding is probably is a pretty good part of it, I would say. So, yeah, anybody else has played Power Washing Sim or seen anything about it or wants to try it?
Well, you know what? I really don't have anything to say about a game like Power Washing Sim. That's a game that, why not just use a power washer in real life? I'm sure you have lots of fun just blasting stuff.
I mean, yeah, I've actually done that. I think I find it extremely satisfying either way. I mean, sometimes during the winter when you can't power wash anything, and you need you just need your fix of power washing. You just have to play Power Washing Sim. I'm gonna do it in the summer. I'm in a couple weeks here, and once it finally stops snowing, maybe ever. I'm gonna use a power washer on my car, I think, because my truck is filthy and it's white, which is really terrible. So, yeah, I think that is a wonderful idea. I'm gonna just go do that in real life.
How expensive are power washers normally? You said you have one. So.
I don't know. My dad got it when I was 10.
See, I assume they're very expensive, so that
I mean, you could probably find low end ones.
I think it's $20. You're basically doing a cheaper version of cleaning, but you're not actually cleaning, so win, lose.
I kind of disagree with the take where it's if you're doing this in the game, you probably should do it in real life, because it's not nearly as fun doing it in real life, depending on the subject. Flying around is fun to do in game, but flying around in real life is complicated, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're probably going to crash and get a lot of trouble.
I mean, yeah, I think that's just a matter of opinion of what would be fun outside of a game, so I just leave that to people's opinions.
Oops, sorry.
Well, because for me, actually, I talked to the execs who, they write the show with a new idea.
Right.
I told them, on the list of simulation games, we should play Payday 2. Payday 2, that's a great game. That's a simulator for bank robberies. And they told me they told me that that's not really what we're going with. People do that in real life. But, that's not really a common normal activity. I told him it was a common activity. I ended up getting questioned by the FBI for over almost 2 hours.
See, this is why you pay attention to your search history.
Yeah. That's what I get, I guess. Yeah.
I learned my lesson.
I think I got put on a watch list for looking up how to sneak into the White House, because Payday 2 has a White House.
Yeah, I'm on the no-fly list now because of the. Yeah, I don't even. I watched The Dark Knight Rises like 30 times in a row. I'm on a no-fly list now. The crashing the plane in the start, they didn't like that.
I only watched the opening of The Dark Knight Rises only.
Yeah, I just.
Donald pop-up, CIA. Bang.
You search up one time the Call of Duty in real life meme, and you get put on the government watch list.
I want to play that one mission with Modern Warfare 2 only.
Yeah, I was in the airport. Obviously, I'm playing my favorite mission, MW2, no Russian, in the airport. And first of all, they started telling me it was extremely inappropriate, and I actually got kicked out of the little children's play area. I didn't even know they were allowed to kick you out of there. So that goes to show that anything can happen.
Yeah, it'd be fair.
Playing CSGO is fine in the airport
As long as you have your headphones plugged in.
unless your headphones aren't plugged in because of
The bomb has been planted.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, JC, a bomb. A bomb.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's so good.
To fight though on what Cole was saying, like how doing things in game wouldn't be as cool in real life. I don't know. I feel like after playing Power Washing Sim, I just want to power wash something IRL.
I won't say cool. I'm just saying that doing a thing in game is a lot funner than in real life. Like there might be some simulators that are more fun to do in real life, but like farming is like, oh, this is not fun. But farming in game, that's pretty fun to see the progress moving. All you do is do a mouse click.
Well, it's like subjective. It's not everyone's favorite, but
I'm guaranteed.
Yeah, it's just a matter of people's different opinions. It's just a matter of people's
I think
opinions.
it would be really cool though to farm in real life because then you could actually grow things yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's
Anyway,
just cool
yeah, and so
people,
like, let's
then
just
you
hop off the
realize
top. Let's just hop off the topic of that one and just
But
move
yeah.
over to the Sims games. So let's talk about the Sims games. So this is just a classic game. I mean, I think there's 4 of them now.
Yeah.
At least.
At least. I mean,
and a lot of DLC.
and a lot of DLCs, obviously, yeah. So, what is everyone's funniest moment in the Sims games? Mine is not certain. Like, it is a moment from the game. It's when the Sims 3 patch notes came out. And this was a big popular time when like auto-tune memes were really funny.
the vote-coded.
The vote-coded memes, yeah. So one of my favorite parts, I mean, this did happen to me in game too, is when is the glitches from new updates. Like when something just first gets released and they haven't quite figured out all the kinks yet, because there's a lot of things that they added in some of those updates. Like they're massive. And one of the ones was the try for baby with Grim Reaper. Just because why? Why was this even an oopsie? Like, did somebody like?
Wasn't a
Is somebody
mistake.
trolling? Just
No mistakes.
no mistake. Hey, there are no accidents.
The community wanted it, so
Yeah,
they
you were
gave it to them.
trying for the baby.
Yeah, you. I mean, yeah, that is just one of my funniest moments. Is just the weirdest things that happen when the patch like. You see in the patch notes that stuff that people came across and how did people come across this stuff? Like, why were you actively trying to go for baby with Grim Reaper? Anyway, okay, what is everybody else's funniest moment? We're just gonna like kind of stick to one here. Just kind of go around. If you played it, if you haven't, if you've seen something, kind of just talk about it.
I can start if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
One of my funniest moments in it is like when you have. I played a lot of Sims 3 when I was back then. But one of the funniest things was you'd have your Sims cook something, and then it goes wrong. Like the stove all of a sudden like spontaneously combusts. And then instead of like a normal person, which would either take a fire extinguisher and extinguish it, or just get out of the house,
Right.
your Sims will go, "Oh my gosh, what do I do? Panic! It's on fire! Look at it! It's on fire!" Standing in front of the stove, and you're like, "Get out!" You're like trying to move them out. They're like, "Nope, I'm too busy panicking." And all of a sudden, they set on fire. They die.
So there's actually one, oh my goodness. There was another one that I'm thinking of. It was the one where when the asteroids come,
Oh my
that
God.
everyone will just exit the buildings except for schools, and the children are not allowed to
No.
leave.
Always
They'll
die.
always die.
Teacher, can please leave? In English.
I mean, I'd have to pull. I can't find the exact one. I should have looked it up, but because I don't want to open the video while we're sitting here. But
I forgot that happened because
Yeah.
one time I tried to make a new save, and the first day a meteor strikes my house. I had to start over. It was so annoying.
I still remember a show that made that kind of joke where the kids weren't allowed to leave, even though there was a huge wave coming towards them that could destroy the school, which was pretty funny. But moving on.
Yeah, funniest moments. Just keep it going.
Well, for me, my funniest moment, it's sort of a meta moment, not really something that happened in the game of Sims, but that game of Sims itself, where when I was a kid, I didn't have Sims. My cousin, she had Sims, and I'd seen her play. Whatever, she's got like a little family there, and they're going around, whatever, taking the baby to daycare or whatever. Okay,
right,
so
right.
Just like, this is like a girl game, like you're just having a happy little family. Then I went over to my friend's house once, and he said that he said, "Oh, I play Sims too." I was like, "Okay, well, like, what does your game look like?" And he was showing me how he played. And first thing he does, he loads into the game. He gets the cheapest apartment possible, no furniture, no bed, he gets the cheapest bed, and he buys the chemistry set. And his sim is like sleeping in his own filth, and he just goes on the chemistry set nonstop until he invents the immortality potion. And then he spends the rest of the game getting to the max level of every stat and buying like the entire city. So that's a whole nother way of playing Sims than I really
never thought
the game
about
was
that.
made
Do that.
for. I don't really. That's like an RPG, I guess. It's more like a Skyrim style
Right.
of Sims game.
When you say that, I think I've had some friends, both male and female, who have played the game as well, and you can kind of see the discrepancy. I think for males, this game is more of like a meme game. You just take your own path. You just try as many things as you can. I think for girls, it might be a little more of a, I want to build my family, see how this will work. Because the streamers that I watch, there are a couple different ones, and one of them is a girl, and you see that she does does the whole family thing, and the guys, to what stuff that you're describing, just find the dumbest ways, the dumbest ways to die, or the dumbest ways to progress in the game.
Yeah, putting the car in the house, just like the stupidest stuff
Right.
imaginable.
Right.
I think we're too stupid as a group of humanity. Women, they understand how to play The Sims. We are too stupid to figure it out.
Let's put all of these Sims in one room and let's see who survives the longest.
Yeah, put all the Sims together in one room, delete the door. Yeah, it's just really just the worst ideas imaginable.
So I've never done that, but can the Sims consume each other?
No.
Okay, just making sure, because I feel like that would be really
That would be
gruesome.
Less modded.
I didn't know if it went into that much detail or not, because I've obviously never tried that, but
You'll have to mod that in.
oh, you never know, buddy. Hunger gets past 10 days. Consume child.
Oh my god.
All right. Anyway, so the next kind of question that I'm gonna ask is your favorite DLC from other games. Mine is the Supernatural DLC. It's just fun. I mean, it's just superpowers. So like, you can just. It's something that we've kind of like. People wish for in real life, and that they put into the game, which is a sim of real life. So. I just thought that DLC was pretty cool. How about you guys? Like, anybody can kind of just talk about it. Like, favorite DLC?
I liked the Sims 3 Adventure DLC. It made you able to travel to another, like, island or whatever and explore temples and find treasure and stuff and gold. It was so fun. I'd literally cheat myself to get money enough to get a transportation all the way over to the island and just spend the entire, like, week that they allow you to be on that island for just in the temples.
Okay, that's actually sounds really cool.
I don't have one.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'd say I like the adventures and this is for Sims 3. I never played Sims 4. The college DLC too are funny because the adventures DLC is fun, but they really feel like they're not integrated into the game very well. Like, I don't know about you, the college, if you try to take your sim to college, your game is gonna go like glacial speeds. I'm talking 1 frame per second. You need to have like a supercomputer to run Sims 3 with the DLC on any settings other than like the lowest minimum, in my opinion.
There's a
In my
commentating on
ex-
college.
Yeah. You try to take your sim to the college, you try to use the college DLC, the game will not run.
Own the college DLC.
Interesting. Okay.
It seems like an oversight.
Just a slight
Doesn't
oversight.
it?
Have you? Alec, you
I've
touched Sims?
never played any Sims games, so I can't really speak on this.
No, that's fine. I mean, it's not for everybody. Like, Obviously, I haven't played it in a long time. But the next question is, and those of you who have not played this can probably still answer this question just because it's more like a video game to life thing, is does a person playing Sims actually care about their Sims? Or are they just, what do we feel about that? Do you actually care about your Sims when you play the game?
For me, it depends on my mood. Like, I don't play The Sims, but if I'm bored, I can either go from, okay, try to take this seriously and play the game, oh, how about I become a god and destroy Earth and just create this crazy, like, adventure. Well, not really adventure, but a disaster.
Right.
And sometimes, for me, like, if I were to play something like a sort of pet simulator, like, if I were to play Sonic Adventure 2 Child Garden mode, I would never, like, hurt my child. They're too precious. I gotta take care of them. But for other scenarios, like, okay, how about I just summon Garfield and see where that goes?
Mm-hmm. Of course, yeah.
I don't know. I have a way of, I just have sympathy for every video game character I ever play or like see. Most video game characters, but like with Sims, I didn't want them to die or get old, so I turned off aging whenever I play the game and just do whatever.
Okay. For me, it's kind of just a game. I'm not gonna get overly too attached about it. I've seen people, but I know there are people who do care. Like, I've seen people cry over losing Sims, which I'm like, I suppose if you put that many hours into the game, I guess. But like, in the end, it's just a game. Like, you can just restart, have a new save, and go back, do it the same way you did to get that Sim back. Kind of. I could totally understand either way, but it is just a game.
I feel very sad when I lose a farm character, but I accept this step and move on.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna like randomly kill like the main sim that I'm playing as, but for me, most of the fun of the game comes out of finding creative ways to kill guests that you invite over to the house. So the town ends up pretty depopulated. Those Sims, they don't know what's
Sim
going
Purge.
on.
I think it's a good thing I don't play The Sims because that'd be exactly what I'd do too.
Yeah.
Just destroy everyone.
Yeah.
Be the last living
So that's why they
living
didn't
Sim
add
in
guns
the
to Sims.
game universe.
The only man in
They want you to
Simville.
think creatively for your tips.
Oh man, talk about high KD.
You're the best gamer. I care about one sim except for my main character.
It's the only game I care about my KD in.
Oh my gosh.
I think there's just so much fun things to do with Sim. Like, it's one of those games you can just do whatever you want. Like, and if you don't like the way you did it, new save, restart. Just go back, do it again. Like, finding different ways to do things. Like, instead of running back and like doing like building a family and like playing it, taking it seriously, I say do that once or twice. But like, I say also mess around with the game, see what mechanics it has, find weird things in the game, like all these things that are being patched in these patch notes. People have had to try to do them first before they figured out how to do it, or if they figured out that it needed to be fixed. So maybe that's your goal with one of these Sims games, is to find all the bugs and you report the bugs, So, there's a ton of things that you could do in Sims, I think is really cool. I think
Exploit the bugs.
my man.
Oh, don't wait both of them and make sure no one notices it.
There was also the mangled body, like, bugs,
Yeah,
where, like,
yeah,
your
they
child would be born and all of a sudden it's this weird alien creature
I've
with
seen
long
clips of those.
arms,
They
and,
are-
like, angular
beautiful.
body. It was horrifying.
There was also one where there was a floating body one. Like, I don't remember. I've seen just funny clips of it on YouTube, but there was one where just like, it's when something would die, the body would just levitate.
I think they always did
Just
that.
like real life.
No, like they would just stay there.
Oh, their dead body
Yeah,
would
they
fly
would
up
just
in the air?
float.
Oh, I thought you meant their soul would fly.
Oh no, that happens.
My
Yeah,
friend needs me.
But I've
The
seen.
Sims on the way planet.
I definitely think that the Sims 3 patch notes vote coded meme is probably still to this day one of my favorite videos on YouTube. Other than the hot tamale video, it's pretty good. If you haven't seen that one, I'll show you guys after this because it's pretty funny.
Sims now vomit at acceptable levels.
Sims now
Oh my
vomit at
gosh.
acceptable. I sound just like the guy in the freaking video. I actually would do that. I would totally read those and then vote code myself for sure. Oh my god, I'm actually kind of curious of like recent patch notes. Like, let's see, Sims patch notes. Let's see what we got
I
here.
don't know if EA will like create patch notes like they did back then, but who knows?
Update 4.1.22. Let's see.
Well, that's going to be.
Oh,
April Fools,
it's only
yeah.
error code 0. Dang.
They didn't even.
Wedding stories patch update.
Okay. It's not funny.
Yeah, none of these are really funny. None of the recent ones are funny. I think it's mostly when like a major update comes out, like, you know, Sims 6 just was released. 2 weeks later, we have to fix all the weird things people do with The Sims because why would you even think of doing that? But yeah, so obviously The Sims, super cool game. Like, if you haven't played it, I would definitely recommend playing it. I mean, for someone who hasn't played it, Alec, you seem to have it down pretty much, so at least all the funny stuff anyway. So let's talk about Overcooked. So I have not played this game, but my what it looks like is it seems to be similar to the Papa's games, which we'll talk about in a little bit. It's like I think it's like 1 to 4 players, yeah. And you have to, you know, make meals and like different dishes and before like the customers storm out. Like, is that? Was
It's
I looking
like
at the
a
right game?
combination between the Papa games and Dino Dash.
Okay, all right.
Basically, it's got like a lot of free movement, and like everyone has to do a job in order to complete the task on time.
Okay. So, what do we think about this game? Is this game something that we think that everyone should play at least once, or is this kind of like a to each their own game?
You should play it once. It's a pretty fun arcade game. It's pick and play. Like, it's fun to play a little while. So yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's one of those play with a friend because it's better than playing it alone because you can have a lot more interaction with your friends and also stress them out while you're getting stressed out about like the timer that's ticking down.
Okay. We just talked about a stress game a couple weeks ago. Was it like the second or third podcast? What game were we talking about that it was like
stress game?
games.
Okay. Let's see. What was the theme for second and third week? Can you tell me that?
Third was.
Third was about games. What was
Yeah.
second?
I mean, look, because I know we were just talking about a game that was
Yeah.
Games.
Stress game.
Stress-inducing game.
Wait, what was the second podcast?
second
week
was
theme?
Uncharted.
the second podcast was the
It has to be Destiny.
marching into new content one.
Oh yeah, I was watching.
What were we talking about? Maybe I'm dreaming about it.
Ben, are you thinking of Destiny?
No, Left 4 Dead. When
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Left
Left 4 Dead,
Yeah,
when we
I
were
see that.
talking about like the stress of everything, when everything starts like bounding up. It was kind of an off topic, but I feel like Overcooked is another one of those games that you can feel the stress and anxiety building up until you hit your breaking point. It's just
I think it's like that might be how like real chefs actually feel because they have to cook everything. There's customers who are either waiting patiently or they're just like, "Where's my food already? Give me my food!" Like, and the chef has to do all the work and cook all the stuff, cut the vegetables, fruit, whatever.
Kitchen Nightmare Simulator.
I would say, like, Overcooked can be, like, somewhat stressful, but it won't be like, oh man, this is an incredibly stressful game. I'd say it's like, yeah, it's kind of tough, but it's not like, you know, like, oh, it's so stressful.
Is it a game that gets harder as you get
Yes.
farther?
Yeah, it does get
Okay.
harder, but it's like, it's
not
a kid's
ridiculous.
game, so it's not like that overly difficult, but there can be some, like, tough moments.
Okay.
So there's like because the levels have you can move around. You have to get the food, bring it to the chopping board, chop it up, then cook it. The levels will change where there will be levels where the stations move across.
Oh.
Like so, you have to go the long way around to use the chopping board, but then it moves back to where it used to be.
Okay.
And then there's levels that have just moving platforms and stuff that you have to time each movement like carefully. Like, bring this item here first, and then it's going to move away so you can't actually access the item anymore.
Right. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I haven't played this one. So, what is your best chaotic moment, you'd say, for those of you who've played this game?
So I like to hit the dash button because that's a button you can hit. It like pushes people around too because there's player-on-player collision. So if you're like trying to panic rush and just keep hitting the dash button, you can accidentally just keep pushing into your teammate, and it like they get annoyed and you get annoyed. Like, get out of my way! No, you.
Fair enough. Fair
For
enough.
me, when I play with my friends, it's a fun game to play with friends, especially if you have, friends that don't coordinate well. So we just like, okay, can you take care of this? Oh, you take care of that. You take care of that. And it's like, oh, we're all lost track. It's like, oh, wait, we need to order this. Oh, no, we forgot to cook this. Oh, no. And it's like, it's so chaotic because of how, like, that's like the fun part with playing this game with friends is the fact that if you don't coordinate, you get all this crazy stuff. Sometimes you just throw food around to, like, pass around.
So
Like, that's the fun part of the game is the friends and how you don't coordinate at all.
So it is stressful that, like, because you got all your friends trying to communicate at the same time.
That's like the only stressful part when you don't coordinate. But I say as the game is set up, it isn't too stressful enough where it's like so difficult. But it's like if you like think a little bit more, it's not that hard of a game. But I haven't played enough of it, so I'm probably in the wrong. I'm not an Overcooked expert, so I should at least rephrase that.
How about you guys over here?
I've played Overcooked 2 once, and it was with 3 other people who happened to have been drinking earlier.
Oh Lord.
So,
Oh Lord, have mercy.
That's
that's how chaotic it was.
Very.
Yes, and we struggled on the first levels.
That sounds like a
Whoa.
load of fun.
It was fun, but very chaotic.
Had you also been?
No, I was
Okay.
not a part of whatever they were doing. I think it was like a D&D campaign earlier.
Okay.
That's just how they do it.
Fair enough. I mean, all right.
And me, I've never played this game. That's all I gotta say about it. Here's my question, all right? If you're gonna cook in a video game, why not cook yourself a nice
My goodness.
meal
We
in
went
the
over
real
this.
world?
Overcooked is every day at 5:30, okay? It's overcooked in my kitchen. I'm yelling at myself because I forgot to boil the potatoes and I forgot to take the chicken out of the oven. So, yes, I do this in real life.
Look at that.
Also,
look at that.
Sam, you run a restaurant. I don't think it's easy to get a restaurant run it. You could cook, sure, but you cannot cook and run a restaurant unless you have the money for it. Even then, it's a job.
They're always hiring more people. I'm sure you could go down to your local McDonald's
No.
and get yourself a job.
Herbert's
I
and
don't count that as a
Gerbert's
restaurant.
needs help.
Doesn't count.
I am
is
done
that?
with fridge sandwiches. It's the sandwich shop
It's a sandwich,
in Drumlin and Esker on campus. And sometimes for lunch they don't make the fresh sandwiches. They do fridge sandwiches. So they pre-make them and stick them in the fridges. I'm just like, well, but why?
What happened to Herbert and Gerber can't do it anymore or something?
Herbert, no, Herbert's and Gerbert's is just a name.
That's just the name.
Yeah, it's like all student workers.
Oh, it's student
But
workers.
and
Okay.
we need to tell students that Overcooked is at Herbert's and Gerbert's so that they work there, and you get
That's
paid for
easy.
playing Overcooked. Then
Students, I mean, they're
I'm not sure if that's how that works, but
Overcooked is actually the training.
Yeah,
that we
Overcooked
use
is
for
the
Herbert's and Gerbert's.
you must go complete your training profile. Overcooked launches Overcooked 2. All right, so what is your favorite? For those of you who've played it, what is your favorite station or job in Overcooked?
I don't have one. I don't think there really is anything that you can say is your favorite because of.
Well, where do you
how,
find yourself the
terrible
most
it
then?
is. Wait, what?
Where do you find yourself the most when you're playing that game?
I guess cutting and sometimes putting the vegetables or meat in the soup. I mean, it depends on which level you play at, but
Okay.
it's usually just the cutting part, I guess.
All right.
I find myself at the chopping station, but when nothing needs to be chopped, I am on dish duty, so I have to take the dishes, clean them, then move back to cut more things. And it's just it's a cycle. Like, if I can cycle those two things at the same time, it gets things done more efficiently.
Absolutely.
Well, I haven't played Overcooked, but when I worked in a restaurant in real life, my favorite thing to do was to make the cheeseburgers. That was my favorite job.
Beast Churgers.
I worked at Mr. Brew's Tap House. If you guys have ever.
Where is that?
There's a whole bunch of them. It's a chain. They make burgers. It's like a beer bar, you know. Where
I
they've
wonder
got
if we
like
have any in
1,000.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
All right, I'm
There's
gonna go
like
check that
4
out.
in
What is it
Madison.
called again?
Mr. Brew's Tap House.
Mr. Brew's Tap House. I'm gonna look at that.
As I have said, I was playing with a bunch of other people that were drinking, so we were literally everywhere. No one had a set station.
What was the one that you enjoyed the most when you were playing?
Probably the cutting board. Honestly.
Cutting board. Okay, that seems to be a. I'm gonna have to go try this game now. I feel
Yeah, you like it. It's pretty fun.
sick.
Gotta go try the cutting board. Seems like it must be the
cutting
easiest.
board. They should just rename it the cutting board. 2, 3. So that's kind of all we have for Overcooked. Unless anybody has any final comments about Overcooked. Otherwise, let's move over to the Papa's games. This one is back to a classic game.
Yeah.
This is something that we've, at least where we are right now, like our age group, played in like middle school. You know, when your teacher would be like, all right, it's time to go visit the computer lab. Everybody would be like, oh, time to get on Papa's Pizzeria, Papa's Freezeria, you know, hop on cool math games. And then you'd always be checking around your shows, making sure the teacher's not looking at your screen. You know, I think this is where everyone learned how to alt-tab.
Oh yeah, no, I'm about to say, sometimes you get like cool teachers like, hey, you know what? Time to take a break. You guys can play Flash games. Those are always the best teachers you have.
I 100% agree with you.
However,
I mean,
you already planned to play Flash games even if they didn't give you permission to.
Yeah.
dude, I would always find the sneakiest places to sit in the computer lab so that I could see the teacher coming and have time to flip my screen before the teacher saw it.
Yeah.
I think that's where my dishonesty was bred, was in the computer lab in middle school.
For everyone watching this, you should do it right now and you won't get in trouble.
Alt tab. Fun fact, I'm actually playing Papa's Pizza. I'm just kidding. But what is everyone's favorite version of Papa's? 'Cause there's quite a few of them. And why?
The burger version, I don't know what they specifically call it that, but when you
Burgeria,
make your own
yeah.
hamburgers, it's pretty fun. And it's like, you know, pretty simple. I like hamburgers. And, you know, easy game to get through. And also, it's always fun just to stack ingredients on top of each other to see how high they can go. It's like that one Quaker video where you just keep stacking mayonnaise.
Yep. Beast Churger. I love that word.
No, when I
go ahead.
when I went through like the same thing where you like go to the computer lab, you get access to that, and then you just play cool math games or
Right.
whatever. I didn't go to Papa's Pizzeria. I actually went to like Castle Defense games or Balloons games, or just
Fair.
like Duck Life or whatever.
Those are
But
pretty good.
I did play
Dude, Duck Life.
Papa's Pizzeria to like see what it's like, and it's pretty interesting. It's like pretty basic for like a children's game, so easy for like cool maths to have like that kind of control over it. But I'm sad about like you can't play any other ones unless you use a Flash player for it or download it because they took off Flash.
Whiplash.
Yeah, Flash has been discontinued. All right, how about over here?
I believe it would do
The
that.
Papa's games.
Never played a Papa's Pizzeria game because anytime when I was at the computer lab in like elementary school, it was either Club Penguin or Cool Math games. Club Penguin before the school district decided to blacklist the site. But if it was on Clue Math games, I was playing that one puzzle game where you're like the rectangle and then you're trying to like get into like the hole.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah,
The world's
that one.
hardest
I was
game or
addicted to
whatever?
that one.
No, it was like a white and black game.
The Impossible, it was called like the Impossible game or like,
Possible quiz?
No, it was
dude, yes.
You're
Yes.
going to the one place like you just move this rectangle like spot and you just like rotate it to get to the hole or
yeah, and you have to like fit it in.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
I don't know the name of the
yeah.
game, but
Oh my goodness, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I know that
I
one.
know
I can picture
that
it.
one. I used to speed run that one, and yeah.
It was so addicting.
So, your favorite Papa's game, Sam?
Well, yeah, I never played the Papa's games. When I was in middle school, I got a flash drive, and I found out that I could launch games. I could plug a flash drive into the computers in the computer lab, and I could launch a game there. I could even put them on the computer. So me and a couple of friends, we were trying to get Counter-Strike 1.6, the old Counter-Strike, because that's the only, even CSS probably wouldn't have ran
game
on the middle school computers. And we almost, the problem is we couldn't play multiplayer. The LAN, they have it just didn't work. And that's probably to the best because we just stopped doing that because we would have gotten expelled or something if they.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're breaking licensure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, terrorism. It's a game about terrorism.
That's pretty true.
You could have gotten in trouble for that. This would have been.
I don't see the problem.
Sam, I'm
kidding.
I have a similar experience that happened. So I don't know who did this, but in my middle school, some kid sneak in a N64 emulator and some N64 ROMs that you can play. And besides playing the Flash games cool map games like Papa or 1 and 2, sometimes I would just play N64 games on my school computer because there was a hard drive and that's what most kids would just play. So it was pretty cool just to do that, just play Mario Kart 64 or Smash Bros on there. So I don't know who did that, but I'm thankful for that kid.
Yeah, it's the little heroes in our lives who just make it worth it for all the rest of us.
Yeah, he's a legend, I bet.
So, my favorite Papa's game was probably Papa's Freezeria, just because it reminded me of Culver's.
Culver's? Papa's Pizzeria.
Because,
reminded you of
Papa's Freezeria.
Freezeria.
Because you're making, concrete mixers almost. And that's kind of what it looks like, I guess. It didn't really have, a name for it, I guess, just frozen ice cream shake things. But you put different toppings and stuff in them and then stir them up. That's what it reminded me of. And I also just really like concrete mixers. So the next thing I want to do real quickly, and just going to be real fast. What is your opinion on this? Is Papa's game, is it a take serious for you, or is it just kind of like a crazy creation, just have a fun game? Just real quick, just kind of throw it out.
I think it's more of a just create your own stuff, just go wild with it because it's it's for kids. This is a site made for kids to develop whatever, brain, mental stuff.
Right.
So I don't think there's anything too deep about it. There's no deep lore. It's just.
I mean, I don't know. It could have
just straight having fun creating things.
Serious for me, but sometimes I would go a little bit goofy.
Of course.
I mean, if I ever played it as a kid, I'd definitely just be making my own things.
Okay.
Well, I think personally the game, it's no laughing matter because if we look, probably the game was invented, the Papa's games, to sort of indoctrinate the next generation of young people into joining the workforce eventually, which is ultimately the point of most of those simulator games, in my opinion. Truck Simulator, that was probably just made by truck drivers, knowing that their profession needs more young blood. They make a video game, they fund a big video game, they get more people in. So they're getting the video game junkies to sit down and go play. Truck Simulator, you want to drive a real truck. They're tricking you.
That was one that we forgot to talk about, yeah.
They got me.
Truck Simulator, yeah. I've seen a lot of fun stuff happen on Truck Simulator. For me,
Slime Simulator.
For me, I think it is it's just a fun pastime game for me. There are times where, not at my current job, but I had a job on campus. I was a tour guide here, and sometimes when we were supposed to be entering documents and stuff, I would go play the Papa's games when Flash was still a thing. Otherwise, it would just play if you could, just whatever game that you could find online that's just free to play, like Happy Wheels or something like that. So we're gonna go ahead and do our last life. So our last life today is a question, which is just gonna be real quick. Talk a tiny little bit about it. Your favorite real life activity that you could definitely see being a game. Let's start over here with Alec.
Oh boy. Something that you're gonna have to come back to me on this one.
All right, Sam.
Well, this is what I was saying about how I got in trouble at the airport. And I had to. I got questioned by the TSA.
Hey, hold on.
No, exactly.
Time out. Wait a minute.
all my favorite real life activities, they're not permitted.
in real life.
to make a video game for children for.
Really bizarre.
So because
What if it wasn't for children?
well, what if it wasn't for children? If it was for adults,
That's a good point.
then it would probably be just sitting around and doing nothing. Because children should be productive. That's for adults only.
Fair enough. Cole.
You know, with the amount of simulator games out there, there probably is one that I like to do, and that is to just walk or wander around and listen to music. Like, you know, just like want to listen to music, think, and just walk around. And sometimes it doesn't have to be music, it's just watching a video and just like, I can just walk around and think.
Yes,
Like
watching
Simulator.
Video Simulator. Perfect.
Yeah, no, that would be
That'd
funny.
If you do
That'd
it
be so
hard
good.
enough.
I mean, I think I could totally see that being a thing. I mean, Chase.
So I had to think about this for a bit. So what I came up with in my mind was a therapist simulator, where
Oh.
you play as a therapist and you have to like
Listen to
treat
people's
people
problems.
with like their whatever, like, you know.
Would this be a multiplayer game?
No, I don't think so.
No, I could see this being like a I could see this being like a sort of like visual novel game like Ace Attorney, where you have to pick the right options, and if you pick the wrong option, you will just
Okay.
not give a piece.
That wouldn't necessarily
It could be a multiple
I suppose,
ending
yeah.
one too, where like.
Like a text-based game, I suppose,
If you tell
yeah.
them to do the wrong thing, like it could lead to bad like outcomes, or if you tell them good, like supportive things, or like build like that trust therapy. I don't know.
Honestly,
Yeah, no,
that could be
totally.
a pretty good game.
Yeah, I would play that.
I honestly would too. I mean, I love listening to people's problems, and I am a huge fan. I don't participate in the gossip, but I love hearing about it. So, I think for me, let's see. I think dog walking simulator.
Dog walking. Are you the
I
dog?
would-
I
would
mean,
play
10
that.
dogs is kind of like
Dude,
that.
I actually didn't even think about that
Yeah.
perspective, but that
It's
would
like-
be sick.
It's not dog walking simulator. It's
Dog walking simulator.
How
That's
about
actually
pet
really
the dog
good.
simulator?
Yeah.
What would you say?
Pet the dog.
Oh, pet the dog simulator.
the
That's not a
dog.
bad one either. Alec, we have returned to you.
Pet care simulator.
Sold.
What was it?
And for that reason, I will take 50% of your company for return of having my name on the game.
I would take 100%.
But yeah, that's pretty much all we have for today. Thank you to everybody who's listened, and have a great rest of your afternoon.
Merry Christmas.